Hello, Habitat friends and family. Never did I imagine that I would be having to talk to you from my own home, that I couldn't see you at the job site, see you in the restore, see you stopping by the office or work at volunteering in the office. I never imagined that I would have to figure out the technology, or Alan would have to teach me the technology to have to reach out to you by recording as we're all in our own homes. But I've adjusted to that in my guest room slash office slash COVID hub slash everything else. Um, because, and I've been able to adjust to that fairly easy because my home is safe, decent, and affordable. I'm not worried about the weather changes that we're seeing here in the spring because my home provides me warmth, and when this cold front came in and it doesn't rain in and all of those things. So it's a weird adjustment, but I've adjusted to it. And I and my family have found this to be a time that is really reflective on how thankful I am for these walls and this roof and this foundation. And I know that whatever space that you're in, you are also thankful. And the reason I know that about every one of you is because that's what brings us to the Habitat mission, is that we believe everyone deserves a decent, safe, affordable home. So how are we doing that? And how are we providing our services? And how are we staying mission-minded during all of this? So I kind of wanted to go over that with you of what's going on. What is going on? One, I called Alice with McKenna to honestly ask her about some grant funds that they had awarded us. Could we reallocate that to an immediate response to people in economic crisis or financial crisis because of losing their jobs? She had already started working on a Comal County Relief Fund, and she said, no, keep the funding you have to move forward on the Habitat mission. Let's raise some funds in our community with the Comal County Relief Fund, and bring lots of nonprofits together for a multi-agency response center. There's Habitat, Food Bank, Salvation Army, Family Life Center, and others, that we can have a little hub operated out of McKenna, so that when families are going through this crisis and need assistance with their mortgage, assistance with their rent, utilities, need food, need mental and spiritual guidance or someone to talk to, then we could all be there in one spot, and the family is not having to kind of search out the resources that they need. The Comal County Relief Fund, McKenna donated seed money. McKenna Foundation donated $50,000 to that. And then since then, we have seen people match those funds and other donors give to those funds. And we've raised $185,000 to go to an immediate response, COVID response center called Comal County Cares. You can find information about this at comalcountycares.com. And if you know of anyone that needs to apply for any type of assistance, even if it's, I need someone to call me and pray with me over the phone, or a utility bill, anything, as long as you can prove financially that you've been affected by COVID, then this assistance is going to be here for you. You can also call 830-606-9512, and some of the volunteers that are there answering the phone or able to talk to you are from Habitat, are our staff from Habitat that know that we want to make sure people stay home now, and that they're able to navigate through this now, so that we don't have even more of a housing crisis later if people were, as they're losing jobs, if they're also losing their housing and stuff like that. Again, if you know anyone that is in immediate need of assistance, it's comalcountycares.com and 830-606-9512. until the virus is gone, then we're here to assist our community. At Habitat, we have 2.5 houses going on right now. We are trying to go to closing on the Yasa house. They did have some grants on the home, and y'all know that there's some time that needs to pass between the dedication and the closing. And so they are days away from being able to move in. And thank you, Paul, and the few regulars that he has called on, and they are social isolating while they're out there. But there are less than 5 by orders of folks that are just tying up loose ends out there. Tina's home is moving forward with subcontractors. We may not be able to use the volunteer hours and hands and time and talent that we are used to, but we are moving forward on it. We've also found some contract laborers that are able to assist us to go through that. It's not how we want to do it. We miss y'all. We want to make sure the house is affordable. That's what helps, is volunteer hours, helps make the house affordable for the families. But we also want Tina to be able to get home. And then, I don't know if you saw this on my Facebook social media, but Benito and Hortensia's foundation was laid on Tuesday. We were supposed to be starting that build by the end of March. At this time, we've laid the foundation. We're going to lay the flat work. We're going to do everything that we can to get ready. And their kickoff and Walls Up is set for September 10th. We're hoping by then that we're all geared up and we're ready and well rested and ready to go back to work. We have about 4 families that are doing repairs. You know that our repair program is for veterans, is for seniors. We cannot leave our repair families in a state of disarray, or especially during all this, if they're already nervous about income and stuff like that. So we are moving forward on those projects. Today, we have 2 people at one of the projects helping clear out take it to the next step. And most of our repair folks need doors to be replaced, windows to be replaced, things to help keep the house from having a draft, weatherization, aging in place, that sort of stuff. Repairs that are definitely needed. We also have 8 lots under development. One is in Canyon Lake. The others are here in New Braunfels. And so I've been working with the city on trying to keep those moving forward in permitting, infrastructure. The grants team is still finding funding for these homes because, as y'all know, the families I've mentioned, the builds, the repairs, the lots, there's families in queue that aren't able to get their sweat equity right now. This is their dream home. They've been working hard for this, and this stopped the timeline that we thought that we had. And I know that they are having a hard time adjusting to the time, but what I tell them is, we Habitatters promise, as soon as we can get back to swinging hammers, as soon as we can get back to full speed, we are going to do our part, because they've been doing their part. They've taken the education hours, they've put in their sweat equity, they've cleared up any financial situations they had, they've corrected their family's home budget, the whole 9 yards. They've done their part, and we're ready to do our part. The Restore is, of course, still opening and operating. That is a major part of Habitat. The Restore funds our admin and operational expenses, so that donors' funds can go straight to homes and building homes. And the Restore is open Tuesday through Saturday. A little time change there, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We still have people coming by, picking up stuff to do those DIYs because they're at home now, and also making donations as they've cleared out stuff. We're not doing pickups right now. We just don't feel like it's safe to have our staff go out and be inside people's homes. If it's a major thing, you can call the Restore, and we may be able to pick up curbside early May. But right now, we're not walking into people's homes. So if you have a donation, please bring it by. Also, we're on a skeleton crew, as people our staff throughout the entire affiliate has mandatory PTO hours during this time. everybody, if you have PTO hours, we're taking them. So we're on a very, very skeleton crew. So we're asking people to bring in their donations. All that being said, we are still moving forward. We have not used funds out of our reserves yet. Our construction funds have stayed in their construction funds so that when we are ready to build Benito and Hortensia's home and then Gary's home out and his kiddos out in the Canyon Lake area, those funds are not being touched. We are blessed that we have the Restore, that we have donors that have supported us, and that I've been able to call and say, I'm gonna need operational help here because the Restore has had to close or had less hours and that sort of thing. The other thing is we have been blessed because we've applied for some grants. You may have seen the CARES Act included the Small Business Administration Payroll Protection Plan and overhead and debt and that sort of thing. We were able to apply for that and received $92,000 to help us keep moving forward. So we're doing our part on this side. We're trying as much as we can. We're adapting to what's going on. That being said, even with that grant, we're going to need all of you Habitatters to help us with a few things, because we are going to need. One of the biggest impacts that we have right now is that we aren't able to have any fundraisers, and we aren't able to fundraise for the family beyond Gary's build. The Restore, even when they cover our operation and admin costs, if there's any, and there always is left over, then we put that towards the next build. That's where I'm concerned at. So we're going to need a lot of you to help us out advocating and finding new donors and asking for that donation. If you've ever been nervous about it, because I know, talking to you, if you're this deep into this video, you're a Habitatter in the heart. Like you're on the mission with this. And I also understand that maybe you rather work volunteer in the Restore or be on the board, or you may have a calling somewhere else and you've just never felt comfortable asking for donations. But I am telling you right now, Habitat and the mission and the families and this is the time that we need you to help. Here's a couple of things to do. This is our call to action, Habitatters. 1, prayer works. Prayer works. If you can keep the Habitat mission, all of our Habitat families, the 50 that are already at home facing a crisis, and how will they pay their mortgage? And also the families that we have in queue that are waiting to know when their build is going to start, and waiting to know, when is it their turn to pick out a lot and move forward. And then also, of course, the families that have just recently applied and they can't do their sweat equity, and they're worried about this dream and their dream house ever coming to fruition. So prayer works. Also include in that our board of directors, our staff, and our other volunteers that we're missing seeing. I know if you're used to coming in and volunteering every week, you're missing seeing your buddies and your friends there in the Restore or on the job site. 2, donate yourself. If you've never been able to, we're asking that right now be the time that you find a place to be able to do that. I do know that with that CARES Act, it is now going to be, for those that itemize or do not itemize, that you would be able to donate up to $300 and it be tax deductible. And so if you have the capacity to do that, we're asking that you do that as soon as possible. And of course, you can donate at comelhabitat.org. We're asking if you can just shop at the Restore, or if you see your neighbor out piddling around in the garage, or somebody's doing something, let them know that the Restore is open. Again, every time you shop at the Restore, it helps us build more homes. Sign up to volunteer this fall. If you know of a group that, this fall we're all going to want to be outdoors, and we're going to need that bonding time with our family, our friends, that sort of thing. So you can also go to our website and sign up for Benito and Hortensia's home that's starting in September, and go ahead and volunteer in the fall, because now you know how important home is, right? And also, if you'll tell everyone else to donate, shop at the Restore, and volunteer. Lastly, if you would help us and help the Habitat mission by advocating, on our website, you're going to see a button on the homepage that says Act Now, or tell Congress you support housing stability and habitat during COVID-19 pandemic. And I wanted to kind of read off of what they have. With the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, families are facing both a public health and an economic crisis. The longer it goes on, the more this pandemic, why can't I say that word, also becomes a housing emergency. We need you to add your voice now to tell Congress to act for housing stability. Before the COVID or coronavirus, more than 18 million families in the U.S. were already paying half or more of their income on housing. Now, with more than 20 million Americans filing for unemployment, the situation is likely to get worse. Families are facing additional economic hardships from lost wages or layoffs and are now confronted with impossible choices between trying to pay their rent or mortgage and life's other essential needs. This button, I'm going to show it to you, will be, did you see it? You know I know, the technology thing. The button Act Now or Add Your Voice will be on our website. So if you're unable to donate at this time, we understand. If you're unable to shop, we understand. If you're unable to sign up to volunteer in the fall, we understand. But that is simple. You can go to our website and add your voice so that we can be, Habitat can be on the forefront of our government's mind in needing to be part of the solution for the housing crisis that we've already been in and we're most likely to be in even deeper after all this passes. And speaking of how after all this passes, we will be able to leave our homes soon, and we will be able to come back together as a Habitat team, as a Habitat family, and be able to move forward on our mission even more so than we've ever done in the past. Because I know that staying at home, we've thought a lot about those families that don't have the environment that we are blessed with. So I know that I don't go around giving a lot of huge hugs all the time. I'm more of a side hugger, but I'll tell you, I miss seeing your face. I miss us being able to chit chat as we're loading lumber or running around the Restore looking for a pricing gun, or in the office trying to get the copy machine to work. All those every, day kind of small little details. Those are the things that I'm missing. And I'm missing seeing all the volunteers and all of our Habitators and all our Habitat families. And even if I haven't been known as the big hugger kind of person, I promise you this, the next time you see me after all this passes, I'm going to give you a great big hug, and I can't wait for us to get back to the build site. I will talk to you soon.